Well, this is Steve Ridgell, and tomorrow our daughter-in-law, Jamie Ridgell, has a birthday. And there's some things about Jamie I love and appreciate, and I actually blog about those on my blog, Ridgell's Originals, and it comes out tomorrow on her birthday. But sometimes I like to look at people I love, and I look at their life to see what I can learn, because I think one of the great things about living life together is you learn from others. And there are a couple of things I'm learning from Jamie that I really appreciate, and I think they may be helpful to you in living your life and helpful in your relationships. So number one that I've learned from Jamie, I really appreciate, Jamie's really good at setting her priorities. By that, I mean Jesus is absolutely the most important thing in Jamie's life. She carves out time to read her Bible. She prays. She worships. It is important for Jamie to be connected to God and to Jesus. And that's clearly the most important thing to her. Second to that is her relationship with our son, Jodan, her husband. I really appreciate that. I think that's the right order. And so it's very clear to her kids, her friends, that Jodan is more important to her than they are. But after God and after Jodan, it's Jamie's kids, our grandkids, and we appreciate that. She is intentional about making sure that they're known as, that they know they're a priority to her. But behind God, Jesus, her husband, then the kids, then her friends, then her community of faith, then the people in the world. Jamie's very clear about those priorities. And number two, I mentioned it briefly, but Jamie absolutely is intentional about living those priorities. And I appreciate that, because while I think it's good to be reminded to set priorities, it's really important to learn how to really make it a point to be intentional about living those priorities. I told you she carves out time to read a Bible and pray. You know, it's really easy to say, yes, my relationship with God and Jesus is the most important thing in my life. And then the hurry and the hustle and bustle of life crowd out your efforts to read, to pray. Jamie works to keep that there. She's intentional about her and Jodan. She works on date nights and getaway weekends, and she's really intentional about being sure they stay connected. She's intentional about her kids, about spending some time as their mom with each one of her three individually and the three of them together. I appreciated that about Jamie. And when you have something at church that needs doing, she's happy to help, but not at the expense of her time with her kids, her husband, her God. I really appreciate the way Jamie works to be intentional about what her priorities are. So, Jamie, I want to tell you happy birthday. I'm glad you're ours. And I want to thank you for reminding me to set the right priorities and then to be incredibly intentional about living those priorities.